Local food bank says meeting the needs of Mainers could become a bit more challenging. Congress is considering a bill that would cut billions of dollars from SNAP, Medicaid, and Medicare, programs that play a crucial role in helping meet essential needs. Logan Hoffman reports.
Food insecurity is already rising ahead of any shifts at the national level. The most recent information from Feeding America shows Maine moved from 13% food insecurity to 13.8%.
We are already running and we are already not meeting the needs of people experiencing food insecurity, definitely in Maine, and it certainly spans beyond that. So when you think about adjusting these safeguards and removing some of these safety nets, it's an insurmountable impact on our ability to do our work.
Heather Paquette is the CEO of Good Shepherd Food Bank. She says their emergency food network is usually a person's last resort.
When I think about food insecurity work and the work that food banks do, I think about SNAP and Medicaid as kind of two safety nets that exist above and prevent people from needing to experience our services.
The USDA says SNAP alone helps 42 million Americans, including children, seniors, and working families. Advocates say if these cuts go through, it could mean 9.5 billion fewer meals every year across the country.
People can sacrifice and do every day the meals that they put on the table for their family. So they make trade-offs and they choose rent over buying food. Thankfully, we have the Emergency Food Network and we can provide a safeguard so that people have access to food through us.
She says everyone can help with their work. To learn more about what Good Shepherd Food Bank does or to get involved, you can head to their website, feedingmaine.org. Logan Hoffman, WABI News, Bangor.